Do you know where all the names came from?
What names?
The names of the characters.
The characters?
Do you know where Max comes from?
Mm-mm.
My grandmother had a dog named Max.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Do you know where Carmen came from?
No.
Cheech has a daughter named Carmen.
Uh-huh.
Do you know where Ernie came from?
No.
I had a real friend named Ernie.
Oh, I did know that one. I did know that
Angie came from Anne.
That one I know.
Yes.
Right.
And then Vic Palmero came from a kid that I grew up with named Victor Martinez, but we used Palmero.
Because he was Cuban.
Yeah. All those, all those had, they were named after real people.
Right.
Hello, everyone. Hola, mis amigos. You're listening to, oh my God, hi, hijo de Dios, hola. With me, George Lopez, porque ¿sabes qué? Let's do the show, porque I got a lot of things to do. I gotta go to that dry cleaner ahí. My kid fell, se pegó la cabeza. I gotta go get some Neosporin Paul.
You know what George is? Oh, I'm sure he's around here somewhere.
What's his name?
George Lopez. George Lopez.
Oh my God.
OMG.
OMG. Hi.
Oh my God, hi.
It's holiday season. You don't know what to get as a gift or stocking stuffer. Well, today's sponsor, Manscape, has the tools to guarantee you win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition. Manscape is the leader in men's below-the-waist grooming, and they have served more than 4 million men worldwide.
Are you nuts? If I'm correct, that's almost 8 million balls. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com/OMGHI. Your nuts will thank you. Need to have how much?
Yeah.
Just a joint.
Yeah.
A joint.
A felony to have a joint.
Yeah.
So in his head, it's still a felony.
It was weird. It's
The
weird.
stigma.
Yeah,
The stigma.
I know.
And-
I remember.
And I never really smoked a lot. I didn't really smoke a lot of weed on occasion, but not even with all this stuff. People thought I got more weed at the house. I had the weed party.
Weed party every year.
She left. You brought her daughter the first year.
Oh my God.
She was there. She was there.
Wafting out
9
by
minutes.
the pool. I'm like, we gotta go.
She swam too a little bit.
We gotta go.
She
She's
swam a little bit.
She goes, what does that smell? I go, we gotta go.
She swam a little bit, and then she's like, "Porge, we're gonna take off." I said, "Already?" No. Yeah. I mean, smells like. She goes, she's a little girl.
Yeah, I kept her outside, and we were far away from everybody. But the more crowded it got, it started wafting over, and I was like, "Yeah, it's time we go. We gotta go."
The contact high gets
She's
further
like,
and
why
further.
do I always have to be outside? Because I'm a good mom.
But
After that show, the one with Be Real, I talked to the sheriff because I'm a supporter of Alex, and I said, "Hey, I got to run this by you. I just did I'm doing this thing with George, and they had this guy Be Real from Crescent Hill, I think that's the name.
Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill.
the group,
Well,
yeah.
right next to Crescent. Next block.
Ladies and gentlemen, Crescent Hill.
Started with a C. He's good, Bill.
Cypress Hill.
Fucking Crescent Hill.
Let's see.
That's right. It was right next
Crescent
door.
Moon.
It was the other
Insane
block.
in the lumbar.
And so, and I told them I was on the show, and all they talked about the whole show was about weed. And if you don't want me to associate with you, or I'll still give you money. I'll say I won't mention it. And he said,
Fucking mamon. You don't
"No,
even
not
work
at
there
all."
anymore.
No, not at all. No, but I still support him. I do some
All right.
stuff for him.
All right, take
so I
it.
just said, he said, "No, not at all." He says it's legal now.
Yeah.
If you want to talk, as long as you're not talking about illegal stuff. I said, "No, not
Is
at
there
all."
illegal weed?
No, but I mean transportation.
You have to get
cross state
closer to it.
lines.
Oh, is there?
I think we're going
Are
over-
we
are we?
on?
Yeah, we're.
If you,
When
don't
did
want
we
this, if you don't
start?
want this on, we start. The minute I start talking about it falls in line. God damn it!
It's
nobody
just
in-
like the sitcom,
in the
damn
contract.
it.
There's nobody
This
in
is how
here.
it was. Okay, so go ahead.
So that's
I
it.
good? I don't know.
And
Yeah,
he
yeah,
didn't
you can
bother.
move
It
around.
didn't bother him at all. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother him. So I don't care.
So to me, it's still like some dudes smoke in their house. Like I don't.
That's not me.
You know, again with that fucking
I
shit.
thought I turned off my.
Is that your
Gilly
vape?
wind chimes over here.
I don't know. Is
Hey,
it
how come
supposed
you're
to
wearing
go
that
down, or is it
that
supposed to
name
go
tag?
Generally, like pointed at your mouth.
Are you
keep
back
it
on Grindr
fist
again?
away. It's
No, where was I?
Are you back on
Oh, I
Grindr?
had
You have
no-
that.
No, I was at some.
Let me see if it
They have
says
name
Grindr
tags
at the
now.
bottom down there. I'd stop using this address, cochino.
No, I had to go to some sales pitch at a timeshare.
Anyway,
thing.
there's any about those out there. that wants some dick. There's a name right
69
Yeah,
Crescent
right.
Drive.
there. Hey,
You're on the market, Gil, and you don't
I'll give them
even know
slogans.
it.
A name you can trust.
So
That's right on camera too. That's perfect.
No, I remember because I get migraines, and somebody said, well, you might try some CBD, you might try it. And I remember going down, I got the doctor's, you had to get a doctor's note. You had to have it. No, but something really was wrong with me. And I went, and I remember telling the doctor, I cannot be high at all. I really need I don't want to be high. And he was looking at me like I was the weirdest person that he'd seen, because everybody wants to get high. And then I went in there to the dispensary, and I walked in, and I was like you, Gil. I was like, isn't this illegal anymore?
I felt
so
like
weird.
I walked
Was it
in.
illegal?
Not then, when I went.
No, whenever they made the CBD oils and stuff, that became legal. They did that when they made weed legal. You could go buy it for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, that's
But
what
before
I did.
weed was legal, there were shops that were open.
Yeah,
there were?
And then they would get raided and take all their stuff. Would they take their stuff?
There still are shops that are not legal out there.
Well, I didn't go to those. I went to the good ones.
There you go, not permitted.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You got to pay your taxes, man, on your weed.
Well, how do they know if you have a permit or not? I mean, it's not like you just put up a green cross and people they just trust you.
That's it.
I don't know, since I don't go to them, that often. I went to one in Laughlin. It was the first one I went in, and man, they had you had to wait over here, sit here, fill out paperwork, and then they open up. You go inside, and I was just looking all around.
Yeah, it's weird.
I said, man, I felt ugly. Man, these guys think I must be a heavy doper, and I bought some ointment that time. Only after I consulted with my physician, who I will not name, and I asked that doctor.
The good doctor or the bad one?
The good one.
Okay.
I
That's
asked
two.
him-
He has a bad
There's a
one
bad doctor?
that he's had forever. I told him, no, you'll be all right, man. Shortness of breath, listen, that's fine. I'm a person with your age. You can't see out of one eye. I don't think it's a big deal yet.
You
my
still
God.
got another one that's good.
Oh my God.
So I asked him about ointment. And I said, hey, is this ointment any good? He said, well, let me tell you something. He says, I buy it for my mother.
Oh, wow.
And this is a doctor I trust with everything.
Oh, that's good.
'Cause he
That's a good
doesn't-
doctor.
Yeah, he doesn't hesitate to tell any other doctor to go fuck themselves or anything. He's
What kind
a
of doctor is that use that kind of language?
It's the Chinga doctor.
good one.
Dr. Chingas.
Dr. Chinga.
Dr. Chingas comes to, I'm fucking on my way. Okay, so I thought if Be Real comes in here, and I did their podcast, I don't know what it's called, but I was
Oh, wow.
and talking.
Oh, well, you're always talking.
Be Real TV.
I
Is that the
can't-
podcast
I
you
think
did?
so. I can't remember what I said, but they clapped at the end. I think about it was injustice or something. But when I'm high, I talk about things that
Serious.
don't interest me.
Well, when
Seriously.
I came in here that day, that was the second time I had been with George. And this guy, Be Real's here, and I'm sitting there saying, they're going to talk about weed, and this guy looks like he's from the hood,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
a hood rat. And I said, man, what am I... why
I'm
am
going to say allegedly on the hood rat, because I don't want you to get in trouble with those guys out there.
allegedly.
He's an
Oh,
allegedly.
Be Real, a hood rat.
No, I said
He's a
that's
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
But
Oh,
isn't
that
he-
hood rat.
but he's
through a
old
cop-
school.
through a cop's
Oh,
eye.
okay.
old
Yeah,
school.
through a cop's eye. And then they started talking about this weed, and what I found out was Be Real was very articulate, very nice guy, knew his business, very professional. I mean, he talked about being from the southern end of Los Angeles.
Yes.
He talked about the relationship between him, LAPD, and the sheriff's department, and it was really a nice.
He also said something I didn't know, that when they were in the streets in the hood, they never lied to the sheriffs, but they lied to the LAPD.
Yeah, it's-
because
Oh,
the
really?
sheriffs would
They said they
would
had no
hurt you.
respect for LAPD.
Oh,
back
really?
then.
I always thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, he
That's
said
what
they-
I said.
Yeah.
He said
We
they had
gotta read. Well, I know we got to read on the police.
Hey, I didn't know. I thought those guys. Those guys.
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
them.
yeah. The
They're
sheriffs are-
they were the guys that were tougher on people.
Oh,
than
I
the-
didn't
than
know
the
that.
LAPD.
He said they had respect for him. He didn't lie to them. He says treat them with respect. He says certainly on both sides there's some bad cops, but for the most part, everybody respected. LAPD, they played games with them. They didn't give a shit what they said.
Because they were there. They were in the streets with them.
Yeah, and so it was a very nice. It turned me 180 degrees about my thoughts.
I
About
mean,
Be
this
Real.
guy. When I pulled up, there Escalade out there, and there was smoke coming out of both windows. They didn't crack like that. They didn't crack it all the way down. Like, hey, let's
Yeah.
get this smoke out here. It was just like that.
Oh, my
on
God.
both sides. Like when a
Right.
house just starts on fire,
Oh
it
my
goes
God!
up the side.
Isn't
of the
that they call it? There's a name for that, like
The hot boxing?
hot
the car?
boxing.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
They
See,
live in the hot box.
I know
Yeah,
that.
walking
I'm a
hot box.
child of the '70s, so I'm with Gil. It definitely took a big time for me to come.
But in
around.
here, I thought if he smokes in here, he's gonna walk out.
Yeah.
I thought.
Did he?
He didn't smoke.
No, he didn't smoke in here.
Okay.
They had
Is
already
that
smoked a
COVID? Is
pound
that
outside.
COVID friendly? Does pot kill COVID?
I wish
You
it
know,
did.
one thing I did hear a lot of was like research about pot smokers like not getting it as much because whenever you're taking a hit off a bong and it's like killing whatever.
Well, it's killing
if
the
there's
villi
the
that are in
virus
your lungs, right? So
Let
it's
me call
killing
Cheech.
everything.
Let me find
Yeah,
out.
let's get Cheech on that.
So he doesn't do this, but with this helps, right?
Yes.
Oh.
It helps.
Well, see, I learned, not yours, but now I'm going to try the sana without the colita de rana, right? There's nothing in there. There's no colita de rana in there.
There's no culo in there. It's 5 frogs though, so be careful. That's a strength.
Oh, really? But it's just
The ones
CBD.
we've made are all 5 frogs.
It's tighter than a
wait,
frog's
but
ass.
It's tighter than a frog's culo.
Yeah, that does
Is
have
it
all five.
just CBD?
No, and THC.
Okay.
It is both. So this whole thing has 1,000 milligrams of THC.
Okay, so I'm going to have to be
definitely
like
don't
a
eat it.
Friday
Just a
night.
little. No, but I put it in my nose like when we were kids.
I don't.
Like Vicks Vapor Rub
I use it.
for the new generation.
You see my finger right here. See how I broke that years ago. Okay. And
How did you break it years ago?
Playing softball. I was third base. Took a hot shot.
How old were you, Colin? You were already in your 40s or what?
This was before I was in my 40s.
Old dudes out there, you get hurt once, it stays forever.
It does.
Okay, listen, I played sports all my life. You see all my fingers are straight over here.
I broke my
Fucking
finger.
Jim Kelly over here.
The doctor messed me up.
All right.
Wait, but hold
Which one did you go to? The good one or the bad
No,
one?
that's when I had. That's when I still had. That's when I still had Kaiser.
Oh,
And and I
that's probably they didn't take it and try to put on another one.
you put a splint on
in
it.
the wrong one.
I looked at it. I looked at the X-rays. It was broke right in the joint. I went to an autopsy. Doctor over there says, "Hey, what happened to your finger?" I said, "I broke it." He says, "Really? Where?" I said, "It broke right in the joint." He says, "Well, you tell him." He says, "Go back and tell your doctor." And I said, "He's going to get pissed off at you. Tell him you need to see an orthopedist. That thing needs surgery."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." So I went back to see the doctor at my appointment. And I said, "Hey, doc, I was talking to another doctor. He says that maybe this needs surgery. See an orthopedist." And he got all pissed off. Started just like the other doctor said he's gonna, because you're not a doctor. He got all pissed off. And I told him, "Hey, chill, brother. You ain't gonna talk to me like that. You'll never see me again. I don't need your ass."
What kind of doctor is that?
I walked out. He says, "Come back and see me in 2 weeks." I went back. I went up to the
What kind
reception.
of fucking doctor talks like that to his
That's
patient?
awful.
Yeah.
Kaiser.
That's what I said. That's why I wouldn't go back to him.
Yeah.
They said, "Okay, he wants you back in 2 weeks." I said, "You can schedule me whatever you want, but I'll never see him again."
Right.
So they said, "Okay, we're going to give you an appointment in a week with a female doctor." I said, "Okay." So I go in there.
Now we're talking.
She put the X-rays up there, and the first thing
Remember
she
training day? Okay, all right. Okay.
okay, Denzel. And she looked at the X-rays. She says, "Oh no, you need to see an orthopedist. That needs surgery." And I said, "Thank you." So go back to the reception.
And what did the guy at Pizza Hut say?
Yeah, the guy.
You've been everywhere. You might as well tell the cook, what do you think's wrong?
So when I saw the doctor, the orthopedist, he says, "Oh yeah," he says, "You should have come here right away. It needs surgery." He says, "I can operate it on right now." He says, "But because it's already healed so much,
Oh, no.
You gotta crack it, you gotta break it again.
I can't guarantee that it'll ever go straight again. You know, you've got it there. So if you can live with a crooked finger, you know."
Was it a ground ball you went to get like that and hit your
Yeah.
finger? Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
I learned. I got a broken finger. No, mira.
Oh,
my,
where's yours?
my wedding ring.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I broke it chasing my little brother, and he made me mad. And I was like,
And you went to grab him and
I
you
grabbed
caught?
his shirt, and he ran and twisted and do like some tricky move, and it took my finger with me. And you know, we were like old school. It was like, oh yeah, I can move it. I'm fine. And then, then I got a crooked finger.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, I'm
that's
good.
it. So now I've got arthritis in there, and now every once in a while it just starts hurting. It aches.
Oh, that's not good.
Get
That stuff
sauna.
works?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Oh, that's awesome. But
Five
do you get
frogs of
high?
health right there.
No.
Okay, well,
That's
then
the
I'm not worried about
that's
the five
only, That's the only
frogs.
place I put it.
Can you stop talking about being high? You don't even get high. Now
I'm
they'll be like,
scared.
he's trying to get everybody high. Just stop saying how you can talk about all of this stuff.
You said be careful. It has five
Sure, he
frogs.
said about high 20 times.
And but if it's not making Gil high, then I will be okay.
I think you'll be all right.
All right.
But let's say this. Let's transition to this.
Okay.
As a dancer,
Yes.
a lot of people don't know. I
Yes.
want to take everybody through your career.
Okay.
As a dancer, all dancers, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
have aches and pains from dancing.
Yes.
And you probably feel those in the morning and at night when you get up.
All the time.
Your hips, your knees and stuff.
Knees, neck, back. Yes.
Go through it. I have a 27-year-old granddaughter that at a high school got a scholarship to a school of performing arts. She has sang and danced all around the world.
Okay.
And she's now 27 years old, maybe 28, and everything's good.
That's good. Is she within that group Up for People? Because they're the ones that grind all the kids when they're out on tour.
Yeah, she's.
I don't know what the hell. What?
Remember Up with People?
No.
I don't know.
You don't remember Up? They were like a touring group.
Yeah,
They
it was a
toured the
tour.
world, and they
She
did a
did the
documentary. They're all boning each other. Up with People.
She did the same thing. It was a group like that. And she without the boning people. Don't tell me my granddaughter was doing
missing
that
out.
shit.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay, but wait.
I can't say for sure because I got rejected.
Because I was a street dancer, and there was no classes. There was no hip hop classes back in the day. They would literally find you in a club. Paul Abdul and Janet Jackson used to come down to the club and watch our moves and copy those. I mean, it was really born in the streets, and we didn't know how to protect ourselves. Literally, I'm dancing on cardboard, on concrete in Venice Beach, passing the hat for change. Concrete is no fun to put your knees on, put your ankles on, and all that. So, yeah.
I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you danced it.
Oh, yeah. I used to go around LA and enter dance contests to make money. I needed money. So you'd win dance contests in Orange County. You'd go as far as as your gas would take you in my Pinto. And we would go down there and make money.
And then who did that? You and your friends from school, or junior high, or?
Oh, no. These were my friends from the club. I was dancing with, some of them were Crips, like Casey, Skeeter Rabbit. He would dance, all these different people.
That's what she teaches hip hop now.
Yeah, now there's classes.
Yeah,
now you know how to take care of yourself.
She teaches hip hop.
Yeah.
And she still does. She performs with a group. I just go do whatever you got to do.
What's the name of the group?
Classes.
I have no idea.
There you go. Concern.
It ain't those big groups anymore. They're boning each other.
Make sure it's not Up with People.
No,
That's all
we
I'm
didn't
gonna
have
say.
sex in our group. When I was
You guys
dancing,
didn't?
I didn't have sex with any of them. They were dogs, those guys.
Okay, so
All of them.
what was your first time you got hired as a dancer?
First time I got hired as a dancer.
Did you do commercials? I know you did
Yes,
videos.
I did music videos. So I guess one of my very first music videos was a Prince video.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in Belinda Carlisle, Prince, Cher,
Wait.
Divine
First, okay, what was Prince? What
Prince,
song?
he did an instrumental jazz album called Madhouse 6, and I've never even heard it. Like, I think it's like way in the vault. And there was only 6 songs, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I was in number 3, I think, and it was shot in this vintage theater in downtown LA, and it was like this cabaret style. My friend Kat was.
You remember the theater? Wasn't the
choreographer.
Ace or anything?
Oh no, it was so run down. I mean, it was like scary when we were going
Probably
down the
the
stairs. It was, but it was really cool.
They did close it down for a while.
Yeah. So anyway, Prince. He would just sit. It was so weird. He would just sit in the middle of the theater and watch us dance with no expression, like kind of mean. And I was like, "Are we sucking or what's happening here?" But yeah, I was in his video.
So he was actually physically there.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
With his little cane and his high heels
Wow.
and looking all princey.
Yeah.
With that tiny little voice he had.
It wasn't in the morning though. It was probably in the afternoon.
Oh, it was all day shoot.
All day.
All
Wow.
day shoot. Yeah, and it was interesting is there was a metamorphosis in my career. I started, like hip hop and all that. You didn't have to dress all sexy or whatever. David Bowie, when I was on tour with him, I didn't have to be like super sexy. But as the 80s, 90s happened, my costumes got smaller and smaller, and I did a music video for the House of Lords. Do you know them?
House of Lords.
Michael Bay directed their video.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but anyway, they were like holding up these costumes. It was like a bikini and some gloves with long fringe. And I was like, okay, I need to stop this because it's getting really
Did it go that way?
Gucci.
It went that way, right?
Yeah. And I had to stop. That's
And
why I
then
stopped.
David, did you audition for David Bowie?
Yeah, Tony Basil is the one who.
You know who Tony Basil is?
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so
Oh,
fine.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
fine. See?
yeah.
Everybody knows Tony from that.
And now
So-
you see that video. I thought those girls were fine. And now if you look at those videos on YouTube, it's all about them being overweight and chunky.
Oh, really? I didn't
look
even recognize.
They look like regular
See, that's awesome.
cheerleader
Look
girls.
at- he's like, let me Google that. Regular,
They were a little thick,
body
but-
positive, Tony
Yeah.
Basil, oh, Mickey. Those are
She
your
just
words.
had that. That was a great video too.
So Tony Basil was like groundbreaking. She was in the underground breakdancing scene. She was a locker and a popper. That's what she did. And she knew all of us. And I guess she worked with David Bowie before choreographing one of his videos. So she picked dancers from the club and there was like 100 of us that she ended up getting together. And we had to have this crazy audition where you'd you dance because they couldn't really choreograph you because everybody just had their own style. So she would literally, you bring in your mixtape or whatever sound, and you put it in your boombox, and you hit play, and then you would go for 5 minutes or
whatever you need.
Free for everything, and then stop, and then we had to like drag a blanket and a pillow and fall asleep on the wall. It was weird because it was, David Bowie's kind of avant-garde, and you had to be willing to take the journey. And so out of all those dancers, there ended up being 5 of us who toured the world with him.
And then you toured, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So did you tour? You went commercial or by bus?
We had a private jet.
You went on a private jet.
Yes. Peter Frampton, David Bowie, private jet. I went from living in a single apartment in a crack neighborhood in Hollywood on Wilcox, right off Hollywood Boulevard, and working in a 50s diner.
Wait a minute, that's where I go get my crack.
I thought your skin looked good.
That's where you go. You see my back, it's all torn.
I'm anti-crack.
That's where I go check my crack.
Okay, that's a different crack. Anyway, and I worked in a 50s diner and cleaned my carburetor on my Pinto every morning because my car was all jacked up and it wouldn't run unless I did that. So I went from that life to touring around the world, first class in a private jet with David Bowie and Peter Frampton.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, the world is big. I want a big life. And I met Princess Diana, and I met Bono.
I'll never let my granddaughter watch this podcast because she'll want to do that. Now she's going to sit there. There's still hope. There's still hope.
Oh, yeah.
Well, honestly,
They don't really take people anymore. Dancers.
What? Dancers? Like Madonna did. Yeah, they do, don't they? Am I aging myself?
God.
I don't know.
I think they do.
Maybe. We'll see.
I'll let her watch a show then.
I don't think they use. I don't think. I mean, it's not as the production is not what the production was back then.
I think. Well, COVID killed everybody and everything. So I think they are. They get their dancers and then they take them around the world with them. But it's weird. It's cyclical. Like sometimes music videos are just it's Billie Eilish thoughtfully singing quietly, and then. It will come a time where like Backstreet Boys or somebody like that, where there's all this dancing. It's cyclical.
And Peter Frampton too.
Yeah.
So they were separate tours, all right?
No, Pete was our lead guitar player.
Peter Frampton was in the band?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. I have a picture of Peter Frampton, and we're in Nice, and I'm holding him. I'm like carrying him down the hallway in the stadium that we're playing. It was like me holding
Can we see
Peter
that picture when we put it up?
Oh, see if I can find it.
No, not now, but maybe she'll get it to us.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm like looking Rick Glassman over here, pausing and cut and go.
No, but it's like Charlie Sexton, Duran Duran. They opened for us in Canada, hanging out with Simon Le Bon and stuff. It was so crazy. Yeah, it changed my life. It really did.
And did you know David Bowie? Did you let you guys talk to him and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, he was. We're all hanging out. I mean, he was super nice, super brilliant, super shy. But he was. We had to like manhandle him during certain parts of the choreography. So we were hanging out in New York at SIR Studios for a month, rehearsing, and then in Rotterdam, in Holland. Doing choreography.
I'm impressed by that.
Why?
Like I've known you a long time. I didn't know that.
You didn't?
I know you danced, but I never really asked you if you.
You never cared about me, George.
Well, that's true. But
damn it!
I care too much.
Just a typical husband. Narcissist doesn't care about his wife.
Constance goes on my Mount Rushmore of women in my life. My grandmother, Mayan, Anne, Sandra, Belita, and Constance.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting me up there on the Mount Rushmore.
And you know how I feel about a couple of those on that list, so you would move up to
You know what? Until you can take that kidney out, Anne is staying on the fucking mountain.
I wish I could give it back to her and just thank her for it.
No, they can't do
Wander
that.
off fucking into the Griffith Park.
Wouldn't that be crazy if you could actually? That would be George Lopez gives kidney back.
I understand that maybe and not in my lifetime, but I understand that they are making kidneys. They put a pig's kidney into a person and it didn't reject because they were using medicine on both of them that were similar, and that they are working on a chip to put in your body that becomes the kidney.
What?
That's what you told me on the
Don't ask
golf
me
course.
about how they're going to do that, but my doctor.
Is it the printer? You know how they have that 3D printer where like printing organs or something like that?
I don't know about that one, but they're got big advances. Like
wow.
Not in this generation, but a couple of generations.
Yeah, there's nuts. October 20th is the article where they talk about the genetically altered pig kidney going into a human. That's crazy.
Can you imagine being the first dude
Hey,
who got
so
that
all
done?
those girls you danced with before they put the lights up are back in play.
I'm very happy. I have my daughter who turns 50 tomorrow. On the 21st of December. Shout out to her. She's given up one of her kidneys for my sister's daughter, one of my nieces.
Wow, that's huge.
And
It saves
right
a
here, see her
life.
24. Yeah, and I couldn't be prouder of her.
I remember you when you got your
you want me to
kidney.
give you some advice?
Uh-oh.
Tell her not to give it up.
They don't like donors to meet,
Oh,
usually
shit.
in the kidney
They
world.
grew
Why?
up together.
Because eventually one of them is going to say, my van didn't start today. You think you can buy me a van? I'm not buying you a van. Oh, but I gave you a kidney. You won't buy me a van?
Oh, like the debt. Like there's
So,
a
yeah.
debt that they have to
sure.
pay.
Oh,
If they know each other, not family, but
Yeah.
an issue becomes I heard that it can become an issue in families. I don't know. I heard.
I've asked around a little.
I heard.
Rumor, word on the street.
But
I don't know.
I got mine out there growing.
She wouldn't
too.
even tell the family. She
We
would.
did that in the show where he goes, "What if we needs a kidney?" You go, "Why you came back? I got 4 growing upstairs." Our show.
Yeah, she didn't tell anybody in the family. My niece's mother, nobody on her side of it, nobody knew up until about 2 weeks ago when they got the final date of the 21st.
Oh, wow.
Then she finally said, "Okay, this is what we're doing." It's me
So-
and Renee, and
When I found out I need a kidney, I went to Cedars and I was in this doctor's office, and he says, "You found a donor." I think Ann was probably not yet, but the guy says, "He goes, let me tell you a story." He goes, a guy came in here and he had his family all around him, his wife, his kids, grandkids around him. They were kind of grown, and he wanted the news delivered to his family, and they said, "You're going to need a kidney. You're suffering from kidney function." He goes, "But maybe somebody in your family want to be tested." And he said all of them went like this. You know how they do, like, wow,
took
what
a
time
step
is it?
back.
All of them. All of them did the old, like, "Well, look at the time. We better get out of here." And he
What?
said, "I don't know." He goes, "Did they test?" He goes, "So far, none of them stepped forward. But even to get tested, not a match, just to get tested."
They wouldn't even test?
They wouldn't even get tested.
Oh, that's messed up.
wow.
How about
That's
that
your
for
family. There you go. That's
not one of our
your
families.
Christmas list just got a lot shorter.
My
Yeah.
my buddy that I talked about last time has a cancer.
think I
He's sick.
remember?
Yeah. He has cancer.
What's his name? What's his name?
Ralph Salazar. On the last episode we had, I mentioned his name, and he sat there and he's got, he's up in age like I am, and he's got a female friend that's also up in age, and she told him because he's got one of the spots of cancer is on his kidney. And she said, "Hey, I'll donate a kidney. I'll give you one of my kidneys." And he just looked at her. He said, "Well, if you don't mind, nothing personal." He said, "But I'd like to get one from somebody a lot younger than you."
Oh, no. How long did they last after that?
Oh, they still are. Ralph's crazy.
Oh, that she's used to it.
Yes.
She doesn't mind.
Have you ever been to Steven's Steakhouse? Around the world, Notre Dame, Amsterdam, Paris.
You don't
London.
know what you've missed.
I've been a vegetarian for 40 years.
They have a vegetarian plate there.
Is it just vegetables? Because I am
No,
so
you know what?
over that.
A good friend of mine's a vegetarian.
Vegan or vegetarian?
No, vegetarian.
Okay.
Are you a vegetarian?
I'm vegan-ish now. It's
And
interesting.
he went there, and there was a bunch of meat, everything there. They fixed him a vegetarian plate, and he says it's the best vegetarian plate I've ever had.
It was filled with lard and carne asada.
Steven's Steakhouse is not a sponsor of the Oh My God.
Where is it? Where is
podcast.
it?
Has
Yeah.
no received any money.
Ho, 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 fellas, naughty or nice, 'tis the season to perform. Manscape's best-selling product is the Performance Package 4.0, which is at the top of every man's wish list this year. Inside, you'll find the Lawnmower Body Trimmer, the best trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body, and the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer. Now, these are our picks for Manscaped Surefire Win stocking stuffers. The Manscaped 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Just launched Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The Manscaped Cologne Infused Body Wash. Shears 2.0 Luxury 4-piece nail kit. Crop mops, ball wipes for the stanky balls. Manscaped Signature Cologne. These formulations are all vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, and paraben-free to show you their products are legit.
Are you nuts? Make sure you hurry up to ensure that these gifts will show up before the holiday season begins. And while you're at it, get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/OMGHI. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/OMGHI. Be the ballsiest gift this year with Manscaped. Culos next year.
Great.
Culos to Come was my first book. Was the first book I wrote.
The George Lopez story.
What was I going to say? Oh, so Constance, vegan then at vegetarian? Pretty
When we
close.
shot, I was vegetarian.
And listen, at a show, especially our show, there was a lot of stuff to eat. A lot of Mexican
my
food,
God.
a lot of tamales, and a lot of candies and all. But every day we had a great craft service where you get the food. And
Very.
I know she hardly ever cheated, maybe once or twice, I don't know. But every once or twice, when she did, I happened to just wander and I used to catch her all the time. And she had a cup of tea with soy milk, and then another thing, and I go, "What's in there?" She goes, "Don't look." It's like little donut holes or something like that.
There was Krispy Kremes every single day, and I had a strategy. Okay, public humiliation worked for me. I would go in front of everybody, because there was always people around there. I would grab a Krispy Kreme and I would start walking to the trash can, and I would take one big old bite, and as I'm chewing, chuck it in the trash can. And I knew I couldn't grab another one because people would be like, "Oh, look at her, all wasteful." So I wouldn't grab another one, but I did get my one bite of the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
So that's what you always saw.
That's right. I stood away from doing that. That's how I maintained my girlish figure.
Hey man, you're not in HD. HD TV sucks.
Remember when they told us we were going to HD on the show, and everybody, we went from video to HD, and all the women were like, "No."
Oh my God.
And me too. I thought that. Be careful, man.
My
Because
shoes.
all of a sudden it made the screen go like that to like that.
Yeah, we were shorter and wider, so my shoes got higher because that way I was taller, so I looked slimmer. Oh, I had it all strategy.
Oh, wow.
I had it down.
Crazy. The good.
Good.
So again, okay. So also a classic. I'm not sure if people know the Divinyls.
Yes, I was in that.
Had a big hit with.
I touched myself.
It was called "I Touched Myself." Remember that video?
Directed by Michael Bay.
Another one.
Oh, he did that.
Yeah,
too?
he and I worked together several
So
times.
Michael Bay was directed music.
He was a
videos
music
before he
video.
became
I know
this?
commercials. I did a Sprite commercial with him as well. Sprite and Toyota. Wow, I did a lot of things with Michael Bay. I didn't think about that.
Did the Divinyls tour? They didn't take their dancers on tour with them, did they?
No. We just auditioned for the video. It was Michael Bay was so awesome, at least for me, because he would hire these models. They're these models, but then they couldn't move.
Right.
So I was always cute enough to be in there, but I was the movement. I was the dance girl. So he would have dresses made for me, so I would spin, and he had it storyboarded out to where whenever it got too boring, they'd throw Constance in there and make her spin or make her dance or make her do something.
Yeah, that was a big song.
Yeah, I'm looking up the.
It won an MTV music video.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that singer, I believe, has passed.
Oh,
in
has
this time.
she?
Yeah, but they did the US Festival, the Divinyls, back in the day in the 80s of the.
They did?
Yeah.
I'm in
festival.
awe because all the stuff you're talking about, what she's done and toured and traveled with who and how professional, and we haven't even gotten to acting yet.
No. I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal
It is a big
tour
deal.
with as a dancer, because you're touring with two musicians. I mean that.
Yeah, you're performing in front
one
of
of the top-
80,000 people
80,000
on
people.
stage. Yeah, and the best part, for me, Gil, back to your transition, is I failed drama in high school, straight up F. And it was because I was too shy. I couldn't talk in front of anybody. When we did the mime stuff and all that, and I had a nice hard B. And then when we had to speak and do monologues, I couldn't memorize lines. I couldn't memorize lines, and I was too shy to speak in front of anybody. So then I was like, okay, fine, I just won't talk in front of people. I'll just make a career as a dancer. But then after doing it for so long, I started.
It helped you
I transitioned. I got a little more comfortable, and then I could actually speak in front of people.
And did you go to acting coach, or did you?
Yes, for 7 years.
Who was that? Can you say?
Larry Moss. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. He directs Broadway. He directs some movies. He's just a brilliant human.
And let's go through the casting process of
George Lopez.
Selena.
Oh, Selena.
How did you hear about it? Because that you've seen Selena, right? She
seen
does
the
the
movie.
washing machine dance.
Oh, I didn't. I
And
don't.
the washing machine
I'm
dance
in
was.
that movie. Gil.
She played Jennifer Lopez's mother, which I think
Yeah.
they're the same age.
Yeah, well, she's 3 years younger than I am.
Yeah, okay, I can see a Latina having a being 60 with a 50-year-old.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I can see a Latina being 60 with a 57-year-old daughter.
No, I got that opportunity because I worked with Gregory Nava, the director, writer of it, because I did a movie called My Family, Mi Familia, which was my very first
That was
movie.
before?
Yeah.
That was your first movie?
Yeah, it was my first movie. And because I had worked on that with him, I got an opportunity to screen test to actually play Selena. There was, I think, 9 of us that
You remember who the other ones were?
Jennifer, myself, I think Sadie Lopez, and then there was this young girl from Texas that looked exactly like Selena, but she was like 18 years old, and she just was a little green. She wasn't, but in the pictures, she was magnificent. There was a couple of the other girls that got opportunities, and so I screen tested, the hair, the makeup, the bitty bitty bum bum. We had to lip sync, we had to do everything, and then I didn't get it.
Oh, yeah, because you could dance, too.
Yeah. So he the same phone call, he said, I want to go over some stuff. Would you come meet with me? And I met with him, and he said, unfortunately, it's not going to go much further for the role of Selena. Okay, so we've got somebody else for that. But would you consider reading for the role of the mother? And I thought, okay, my rent is still due. I got to make money. So sure, why not? And I read it, and it was because back then, there was all this privacy stuff because it was shot within the year where Selena died. So the script was bright red, like the color of this. And I read the script because they did that so you couldn't copy it. So I read the script, and I realized no matter how old you are, your mom still thinks you're her little baby.
Right.
And so I thought, it doesn't matter how old she is. I could play her mother. And half the movie was her in flashbacks when she was younger. So I thought, I'll try. I'll do this. And I love him. I love the story. I wanted to help Selena's dream happen. And also, I didn't know about Selena until I actually auditioned for it, and I had to do all this research. So once I discovered her story and who she was, I really wanted to be a part of it. So they brought in an aging crew, and for my screen test, there was other actresses who screen tested that were more age appropriate.
Yeah.
And I thought, what's going to happen? They're going to tell me no.
Who did they have, like Rosanna DeSoto?
The other one, Jimmy Smits's girlfriend.
Wanda?
Yeah, Wanda de Jesus, I think she was there. And so, they did like a crew, like lace wigs for me, and they aged me because they had aged me in that movie I did before My Family, Mi Familia. So they aged me, and they just slapped some fat padding on me, and I did it.
I think it worked. If you look at the cast picture.
I looked older than Edward James Olmos in real life.
Oh, did you?
Yes. They made me look
I never
so
realized
jacked
that
up.
she was in the movie. I've seen the movie.
The month.
You don't remember me in the movie?
No. I really don't,
Gil,
because all I did was
too much
focus on
CBD
Selena.
and too much of this beer that you got given him.
I think you don't drink beer. I think.
No, I don't. But Gil's had enough.
All I did was I focused on Selena.
Gil, I'm in the movie Selena.
And the lady that killed her.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Lupe Ontiveros played that role. That was a really hard role.
Lupe Ontiveros was one of the funniest people ever.
Yes. I can imagine if she was here, the two of you together would be fire.
She was
fire.
upset with me because because everybody thought that Lupe Ontiveros would play the mother in my show.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I said no, because I thought she was in everything that Latinos did, and that for an instant, if you're the same person in like No E.G., that Cholo that's in all the movies,
right,
that you become like that. And I said I wanted the show to be more of not somebody you had seen, but somebody that could really play it. I mean, I think she would have been good at it. I don't think she would have been as good as Belita.
No, I don't. I agree, because you have seen her be the mean mom before, and she was lovable and adorable. But you're right; it would have been a new incarnation of something she's done before.
Belita was. She came in. We couldn't find anybody to play the mother part, and remember, I think they sent in like women would have like a Donald Duck hat, and they were all in different countries in Mexico.
Oh, they did?
They went out to fucking Mexico to try. Those fucking fucking guys, stupid ass. So I go, you gotta find somebody in here, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing over in Brazil? I'm Chicano, I'm not from Brazil.
Yeah.
So they were like, all of the ladies would do a thing where there'd be a window right there, with feet walking by, like right wherever they were in the basement. And then
a basement apartment, trying to shoot her video.
Belita was retired.
Yeah.
And her husband, Joel, was an agent, and he brought the script back, and he says, listen, I know you don't work, but you should read this. And she read it, and she's like, what is this? He goes, oh, they're trying to find the mom. They can't find the mom. So she came in there with her little long skirt and her leggings and her tortoise glasses and her little bag. And her
Oh, that's right. She was super chic, right? Yeah.
And she came in, and she took the thing, she turned around, and she read it. She was mean. She was funny. She came in all happy. Hi, everybody. And then, she got her stuff, and she walked out. Yeah. And they looked at me, and they go, what do you think? I said, man, and they go, come on. I go, wait, you asked me what I thought. I said, just ask her if she's like that happy every day. Because that would fucking kill me.
And it didn't.
It didn't kill me.
It did not kill
you. And then around
you.
the holidays, we call her evil elf. She would turn evil.
Yeah.
She would get mad at everything.
Well, that's because we were all trying to arrange all of our holiday things. The best presents, the parties. Come on.
And they told me the day her son went away to college, she goes, somebody came over and said, Belita's son went to college and it's very emotional today. So I sat down, all of us, I go, so where's Matthew? Probably in the air right now.
The sensitivity.
But she laughed. I mean, we got along, we still do.
Yeah.
We got along incredibly well.
Yeah.
So, but then, we had her, and then, you remember, we went and did, first of all, I'm not going to say the name of the other actors. There were two, I've never told this story before.
Okay.
I told on the golf course. I don't think I've told in public. There was two last actresses for the part.
Of?
Angie.
Okay.
And one was Constance, and one was somebody who, no offense, Constance, was a little more voluptuous.
Yes.
Up on top.
Word on the street is that she was on caliente, muy caliente, I'll say.
Ann Lopez, my ex-wife, said to me, why are you fucking around with that other girl? Why? Because she has big tits. She probably has you in there, all three of you guys wrapped around her finger. I said, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're not over there. And she had all three of us wrapped around her finger. But that's not going to get you the part.
Yeah.
And we did wardrobe one day where they came in and had them try on, stuff, and awful. And not appropriate, I would think, these days. But it was clear that even I was like, yeah, we got to go with Constance. And then, you remember?
Yeah, but after 7 times.
Horrible.
I auditioned 7 times for this.
And then we did
No, hold on. 2 times they said, no, thank you very much. It's not going to go further with you.
Oh, really?
And I was like, you know what? When they came back the 6th time, I was like, can I cuss?
Yeah.
I fucking dare you to not give me this job. I will come back. I'll be relentless. I will come back every single time, and I'll make you tell me no. Because this is my job.
That other girl was not as funny as Constance and not as good an actress as Constance.
But hot.
But
so hot.
You remember the screen test we did?
Yes, I do remember. Wait, can I just tell you, when I showed up on the Drew Carey stage and I went I was like, oh, this is legit.
Drew Carey was still on the air. So we're not on the air. So we have to go do I have to do a screen test with Constance. Right. And we don't have a stage or anything. The show was still casting.
Right.
And we did it and used, that would be a great video to get.
Oh my God.
We used Drew Carey's kitchen and living room to do our screen test.
Wow. See, and I was surprised because I had already tested once before, and then they told me no, it wasn't going to work. And they said, oh, we're going to test again. But I didn't realize I was actually screen testing with hair and makeup. And the craziest part was everyone was so nice to me. Like crazy falling over themselves. I was like, wow, some other actress must have tanked this really bad if they're being so nice to me. Because they were like fans of mine, and I wasn't, that big time.
We didn't do a screen test, her and I. It's just me and you.
I don't know. I'm not going to say anything else, but
that wasn't a screen test.
They never left the room. Anywho, they were very nice to me, and I remember the craziest part is when we moved from the kitchen to the living room. I had done these scenes so many times that when we did it, and I called Carmen, and some actress came down, it startled me. I was like, oh shit, there's somebody really here.
Who was that? That wasn't Moss.
It was Moss.
It was?
Yes. Moss Lucia's like, Mom. I'm like, oh shit. Hi, honey.
Was Louis there too?
No, it was just Moss. Yeah.
And then there was a line in there about,
oh, if I'm going to kill her, she's going to be awake.
Yeah. And everybody started laughing. And then when the L cut, I looked over at her and I go, I think you got yourself a job. And she goes, how do you know? Because the name is George Lopez.
I've got some sway.
That was an awesome moment.
I still had the bitterness of the 7 times, coming 7 times.
I never got that. I think maybe they stayed because I said, or we said eventually, like, what are we doing with her? We can't let her go, kind of. I mean, there's nobody else. I mean, it couldn't have been her.
No, I think they there's the protocol. Like, if you really, they're trying to protect my feelings. Like, if it's really not going to go, no matter who else you've got going on, they'll cut me loose because I was shooting American Family on PBS,
Oh, right.
and I was doing 2 shows at the same. Well, when I got George Lopez, I ended up doing 2 shows at the same time for 2 years. But
Was he upset that you would?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's still upset.
He's not. I don't know. I
He
haven't
doesn't
seen him
like-
in a long time.
He doesn't like me,
Who?
Gregory Nava.
He doesn't?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I went to El Paso for the memorial, and I took all the people from the event to a Mexican restaurant, and he sat there and ate there, and I paid, never said hello, never said thank you.
Well, he is socially
start some shit right
he
now.
is socially awkward. I will tell you that. But I didn't know. Well, can I explain from his point of
Do
view?
you know that I have something to say, and I will not say it, even though I know we can cut it out?
Okay.
I'm not going to say it.
So 7 times that man had to shoot me out to get me free so I could make it to George Lopez. And this is
I had no idea.
Yeah, he had to shoot me out, and
Man,
I
that's
guess
fucked up,
I
'cause
guess
make her go first on the whatever day it is. Everything's adjusted so she can do all her stuff and be gone instead of
right.
like doing 2,
Oh.
then you break in the afternoon.
and it's a single camera show, right? And it was brutal. So the reason it was a little hard for him was because we had signed in our contract that we wouldn't do any other predominantly Latin show.
Wow.
And my manager was so smart. He said he just put 1 hour in there.
Oh.
And because he put 1 hour, I could do a half-hour show.
He did that?
Yeah, my manager is genius, and I'm still with him to this day because
Fuck, how about that? I didn't know that.
it would not have happened. So maybe that's
move.
why he didn't say hi to you.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why, but
Yeah.
that's,
Well, no. Also, Porch. When we premiered, this is also something that's bad, or hard, or difficult, or tricky. Of course, it happens with me. American Family and George Lopez were on the air on the same night, at almost the same time.
No.
So they started at 8:15, and we started at 8 when we first came out. Or what was our first time slot? 9?
9.
So whatever it was, I was competing with myself for 15 minutes. And Edward James almost was pissed. Ask him about it. I've never told this story. I hope I'm not getting anybody in
he
trouble.
did the show though?
No. But Eddie, it was like that was like the first Latino family. Yeah.
Stop taking my wife.
Yeah. Well, oh no, I was his daughter on that.
I take my daughter.
I was his wife on Selena. I was his daughter on American Family.
And then
Strange life now.
yeah. And then we started to do the show.
Yeah.
What do you remember about the beginning of it? Like, was it fun for you? Was there any things you didn't like, or I mean, it's all pretty well written, right? Do you know where all the names came from?
What names?
The names of the characters.
characters?
Do you know where Max comes from? Mm-mm. My grandmother had a dog named Max.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Do you know where Carmen came from?
No.
Cheech has a daughter named Carmen.
Uh-huh.
Do you know where Ernie came from?
No.
I had a real friend named Ernie.
Oh, I did know that one. I did know
And
that one.
Angie came from Anne.
That one I know.
Yes.
Right.
And then Vic Palmero came from a kid that I grew up with named Victor Martinez, but we used Palmero.
Because he was
Vic.
Cuban.
Yeah. All those, all those had, like, they were named after real people.
Right.
in
I
my-
didn't
in
know.
my
I knew
life.
Ernie, and I knew Anne because Anne knew Angie.
What's Ernie doing today? Is he still acting? Or
He probably weighs about 75 pounds, and he's like
Yeah,
directing
he's-
independent projects.
He is so slim. He is slimmed down like crazy.
I think he went
vegan, vegetarian.
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See, I didn't know the history of the names at all. In the beginning, the show was hard for me because I had limited experience on sitcoms. I mean, I did Michael J. Fox sitcom. I can't remember what that one was that he shot in New York.
Spin City?
Yeah, Spin City. I did Spin City and a couple other things. And then it was actually one of my... And then I did Union Square. So this was like only the third sitcom that I had done. And switching from drama to comedy is hard. So I remember, once I got George Lopez, the show, not you, the show, I had to shoot 5 days of drama. Or no, I shot Us. And then I would, on the weekend, like on a Saturday, and I would go switch to drama. And so they would say that, oh, you've been on the show again, because I would be really funny on the drama. And then when I would come back, I remember some of the original episodes when I would get mad at you. I'd get really mad, like serious. And so that was a little...
to tell you.
He's like, yeah, take it down a notch.
You think he's funny.
Yeah. You like him.
I didn't know you shot on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah, they accommodated you a lot.
I had no idea.
Or our show a lot, yeah.
What was the shooting schedule like for your guys' show? Monday through Friday?
Table read on Friday, and then started rehearsal Monday, Tuesday.
But then didn't we switch to Thursday?
No.
I feel like we did. Because I remember...
We shot on Thursdays.
Club F, we'd hang out, and then the next morning we couldn't hang out because we had to get up early and memorize things. I think we might have switched it once.
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah. I hated when we did that.
It was fun, man. I mean, the live audiences that would come and see the show were...
It was the best.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
Always really supportive and loud.
It was a good show.
Well, they were so happy. I mean, in 75 years of television history, to ever make it past 13 episodes, this is the first one. You know, that's Desi Arnaz. There was a big old space between Desi Arnaz and us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's big.
Where'd you guys tape?
Warner Brothers.
At Stage 4, which, we're working on the show with Mayan.
Where are you shooting that?
I believe at Universal Studios.
Okay.
Because somebody bought CBS Radford, which was the home of Roseanne and Seinfeld and the news and CBS
Union
News.
Square. I shot Union Square there.
It's a legendary place right there on Radford and Ventura. And
they bought it?
I think CBS owned it, and somebody just bought it for $2 billion.
For what?
They're not sure yet.
Is it going to be studio?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But I don't think CBS had a network and they were running a lot. I don't think they liked running the lot.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of not.
It's the older network. They didn't need to stay focused.
But it's a beautiful lot to work on.
Yeah.
Cedric's over there. And
although the Warner Brothers lot is my favorite because of the gym and that old street in Central Perk, that's still my favorite. Yeah. Well, plus we have a plaque on the wall. Our name is on the wall.
Yep.
In Stage 4.
So they took me around one time with Frank. We went around in a golf cart to show me the available stages. And we went in the back lot over there, and I go, what's here? And he goes, this fucking place, man. He goes, everything that's in here doesn't go. Like, there's a whole hierarchy of stages and good luck and bad luck stages.
Oh, really?
So as we're driving around, it's like, no. And then we went to the corner right there on, like, Barhammer, what turns into Olive. Mm-hmm. And Stage 4 was where they did Murphy Brown for 10 years. So we were like, shit, they just got out of there. I said, we'll take this one. And it was great.
Really?
That's why, yeah.
Well, the fact that we were close to George Clooney, that didn't hurt.
George Clooney was right across where we see George Clooney all the time.
That was kind of nice.
We saw a lot of people walking through there. I saw Doug Flutie. I saw
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Brad Pitt. I saw
Deacon
him.
Jones, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Selma Hayek.
Yep. Oh, that's right, Selma.
Yeah.
I remember seeing her.
My go-to on the sitcom was I was always saving myself for Selma Hayek. From the beginning all through the whole run of the show. What's Selma gonna think about what? Don't worry about her.
I can't believe I'm still sitting here. She's more interested in George Clooney. I'm sure it wasn't just the name.
No, there was a hot corner over there.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really,
Clooney,
really was.
not George Lopez. It was
No, Clooney.
It was Clooney.
Well, I would see my TV husband every day, George Clooney. He was doing Ocean's 11 or
He had
whatever.
his production office there.
And I
Come on
remember-
his motorcycle.
Well, there was one time that, I don't know, it was a surreal moment. He was at the end coming around the corner, and I was coming from like Central Perk,
yep.
and he was dressed in his tuxedo from shooting, and I was in my pajamas because the first scene was in the pajamas. I don't know where I got the balls to say this, but I literally am like, top of the morning to you, Mr. Clooney. And I yell it down the stage like, Miss Marie, how you doing? And I'm thinking, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing? I'm doing a bad Irish accent, screaming at George Clooney. And he came up and he gave me a hug and we just chit-chatted a little bit. And then I went on the stage and I'm like, holy shit, I just hugged. What did he smell like? I don't remember anything. It's so surreal. I hugged George Clooney. But I couldn't tell you. You'd be jealous.
You know what I was trying to do is I was trying to get George Clooney to come down and have Constance go, George, and then have George Clooney come to the live audience.
That would have been crazy. That would have been.
It didn't work out. It didn't work out. Time. He wanted to do it. It didn't work out. Like he was like, if I'm here, man, you guys are shooting, like I'll do it.
I would have loved. That would have been so
incredible.
wonderful.
What about
Remember
on the
Mel
pilot?
Gibson?
Mel Gibson came by
I was like, I lost my mind.
early on. Yeah.
Yeah, he was directing a sitcom or something.
Yeah, he was there. Was he directing a sitcom? He was working
I think he
on
was
something.
going to, or he wanted to do
And-
research.
Yeah,
or
he
something.
came in there, man, he was there almost all day watching.
Yeah, it was weird. There was like a crowd of people that followed him, and it was just our crew, like big fans of his.
Yeah.
This is pre-crazy Mel
Right.
Gibson. This is when he was normal.
See, now you know the way I feel being around George and you. And I mean, you're big time legendary actors, successful. That's the way I am.
Put your fucking tag back on. Right? You ready for another beer?
Yes, as a
I
matter
know
of
that
fact.
other one starting to talk. And I never told you I love you so much. Do you know? I think which one of the first 4 shows, and what moment that I knew the show was going to be on. I didn't think it was going to be on forever, but I thought, I was always very supportive of the thing. When we did the Puff and Stuff thing, and we opened the curtain, and Puff and Stuff was in the backyard.
Yeah.
And like they asked me when we were writing the show, like, hey, who did you like growing up? We had to do a thing where you tell your son you don't like birthdays, and then he doesn't want a birthday, and then Angie gives you the birthday you always wanted. And I was like, like HR Puff and Stuff. They're like, who? HR Puff and Stuff, and they
didn't know who HR Puff and
Some
Stuff
did,
was?
but then some didn't. And then they looked it up, and fucking they.
Well, you know what? Because if you think about it, up until then, anytime we were Latinx or whatever on TV, it was like we were this stereotypical cliche. We never got out of East LA. We always were in the barrio. We always had something, some drama was happening.
Yep.
HR Puff and Stuff.
Was,
and Witchy Poo and all those, gosh, I forgot, what's the name of the puppeteer?
Sidney Croft.
Yes, Sid Croft and Company. Sid and Marty Croft.
Sid and Marty Croft.
But they don't equate Latinx people with loving those things. And, I can trace my family back to 1850 in America. Like, technically, I guess I'm original peoples or whatever they call it in New Mexico. So, yeah, I didn't know that.
What part of New Mexico?
I don't know, wherever the Chiricahua Apache tribe is from.
Oh, that's right.
Chiricahua Isles.
No, my mom did a DNA thing, and
All the way back
my
there?
brother is 44% Native American. And so you know how Latin families are like, yeah, we came from Spain, and he was.
Yeah.
Your grandpa was full-blooded Apache. Well, he was.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I've got to have some. I don't have much hair on me at all. I got to believe I'm Native American.
Well,
a big part.
I think we all are.
That or cirrhosis.
Or you need to call your bad doctor and find out what's happening with the hair.
I had 3 of them come in my head at the same time. I fucked it up.
Get lasered.
Psoriasis or whatever. The
Rosacea.
Is that what it's called? Too?
Yeah, rosacea.
But those days they were always fun, weren't they?
Oh my God.
The early days were the first 4, and then the
That
first
was
4 years were
stressful.
great.
I don't know if you know, but the one of the episodes, I think it was it the pilot? It was one of the first 4. Where was the backyard scene where we had to throw that damn ball
The first
around
scene of
and
the
do
first show.
Okay. I had the worst migraine.
Oh.
Like so bad, like the bright lights, like you can't see, like so much pain. And it was like such a blessing because something happened camera-wise, lighting-wise, I don't know what, but I literally was laying in my room. It was before we were going to shoot that scene in the backyard. And I have like a freezing ice pack on my neck and I have to turn all the lights off. And I just think, if I could just lay here for 10 minutes, the pain, because it's hard to be funny when you're in pain. And the scene, we had to throw this ball on the lines and get the laugh, and the timing was a nightmare. So I remember laying down and I was thinking to myself, dear God, if I can get through this, I can get through anything. Just let me make it through this scene with this headache. And something happened to the lights and the camera, and I was there for 20 minutes. By the time they were ready for me again, the headache was gone, and I shot the scene.
I didn't know that.
Meant to be.
That scene ended up not being, I don't believe in that. we were trying to get this fucking ball that had a balloon in it with a little needle, because Bruce Helford liked all the little gimmicks and things like that. So we were throwing it to each other. It was on a timer, and it would blow up on my mom.
Yeah. And we never even used it.
We fucking rehearsed with that thing for all week.
Oh my God, it was
fucking ball around.
I hated it. I hated that.
Had a timer where the balloon and the ball, and when the timer went off, the ball had a needle that would poke the balloon and pop it.
That's
in New York,
crazy.
but not in LA. we worked with that thing all week. So the big deal was, I think the end of the first cold open was that the mom gets a lot
wet.
of smack. And then
he liked those long cold opens.
Yeah.
Right, 6 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Long one.
But
instead of short.
It was fun. Yeah.
That was awesome. That show changed my life. I think it changed America.
I think it did.
I really do.
And all kids too.
And
not
it's
just
still
Latino
doing
kids.
it.
Yeah.
It's still doing it because it's on syndication. I'm telling you, I was in Vegas, and one of the shows that I'd never seen before was George talking about how he really did steal the president's speech.
Yeah.
That was when we came back for the second season.
But because of our show, I think that, and I'm not going to cry because you like it when I cry, and I'm not going to cry. I think there are many generations of Latinx kids who will grow up feeling included in the American fabric on television, and that's not something you had or I had. And I didn't cry.
It's okay.
You know what?
She
She's not
makes
even
fun of me for crying all the time.
I just really love it because she's not smoking weed or drinking beer.
Yeah, that's right. And this is as good as a gift for her.
And she doesn't like to cry around because I'll keep it for another 20 years.
I know, he asks so many questions when I cry, so I'll shut it down hard.
But, you know, I think that, like growing up the way I did and spent a lot of time alone, and to be able to leave a family sitcom behind when I didn't have those things growing up is great. Like all that stuff was important to.
But we were
to
your
me.
family.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of the things is that
It seemed genuine. It really did.
Well, we, you know, nothing against you, because I've talked about
Finally.
this in the
Why?
interviews before. Like Belita, myself, Valente, Emiliano, like all of us had done shows before. But George was the only one who came from a completely different walk of life, you know, genre. And he was like the gladiator on his own and was used to doing it that way. And we were like, okay, the chemistry has got to work. We've got to be able to go back and forth. He's got to be able to banter with us and you know, toss the ball back and receive the ball, the acting ball. So I remember saying that for you were one of the fastest learners I had ever seen. Like going from that where you're the gladiator on your own, you know, the eye bulge thing happened for, you know, but you were not afraid to tackle something that was limiting the show. You were like, well, you know what, just tell me, fucking tell me when I'm doing it and I'll stop doing it. And that was something that had developed for, you know, it worked in your comedy, but you worked, and you only had 19% kidney function. I mean, you add that on top of it, it's like a freaking miracle that you could adapt and work that hard, writing all day on the set and stopping the eye bulge. Your plate was
Stopping the eye bulge is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because in stand-up, you could do all that, and then everything was just magnified.
Yeah.
And they wrote about it, I think, in the LA Times.
And they were tight, you know. They were tight on us. You didn't have to read, you know, play the whole stage.
Yeah. And even all that was tough for me. Like, I didn't fucking never got hired in a bit part on a sitcom, much less to have it all be around
Folks
me.
around you.
Yeah.
So on the way, when I would leave and the guys were relighting and setting up stuff for the next day, I would go in there with my script and I would walk it like a choreography
Yeah.
in there. And then I ran into a few directors in there that would say, like, what are you doing? And you look up and they're up there looking at shots. And I would be walking to the refrigerator, get coffee, back down, outside, inside.
But
Crazy.
we became your family.
You had to put in the work.
To support you. It's like, for this to work, we all have to work together. Like, that's the only way that this is going to work. And we all knew that this had never happened before.
Right.
And we were willing to bust our ass and do whatever we had to do
worked.
to make it work. And you can see it. You can see
Very
we're
proud.
having a fun time.
There was we laughed. I mean, the show was fun to do, but we laughed every day.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
It was exhausting. It was, but me too. Moving was after that, because some of the things I was laughing, I was like, "Fuck, I can't be laughing."
I know we would have. But just as the show was starting to end, more guys were going to HR.
Yeah.
So we left at the right time.
Right. No, I
ran
remember.
into a guy going up, saying, like, "Where you going?" HR. I said, "All right."
We should wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.